Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook. What do? We take a look at headlines from our city, our state, our country. We take a look at your comments, your ideas, your suggestions about Puerto Vallarta, how to enjoy our city, how to connect with one another, how to connect with Mexico's way of life, with Mexico's culture. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, of course, being part of the English-speaking community here in Puerto Vallarta. Today is the 30th of November. I think the month is over today. I forgot to check my calendar, but it is a good day to be here. It is Wednesday, so we're walking, and it is a great day to glow and gloat. I don't know about gloat, but we're certainly going to glow about our restaurant experience we had last night here in Colonia Versalles. We have news to share, and we are working around the city today, but of course, not yet. First of all, welcome everyone, and particularly welcome those of you that are joining us live for the first time. Feel free to let us know who you are. You can do that by adding the word new to your comment. We'll give you a nice little welcome. And if you have something really important that you wish to share during the comment section, please add a capital letter Q. That way we know that you want some acknowledgement about that and not that you're conversing with one another, which is lovely too. Let's go. Now, how would you like to be the next door neighbor to this condo project on Venustiano Carranza Street in Colonia Emiliano Zapata? Apparently, this construction project is causing major headaches for the surrounding neighbors, whose properties are being damaged with destructed walls and such, to the point that folks from the Civil Protection Department came to have a look at one of the properties and advised the owner to no longer sleep in her bedroom while construction is going on. Apparently, folks from the Urban Development Department were going to shut down the project, but they didn't. Meanwhile, the construction company claims they have a commitment letter that the neighbors signed stating that they would repair any damage caused to the properties. But what can they do in the meantime? I suppose you just wait. A former Nayarit governor featured here with his eyes covered and referred to in the article as Nay G has had 4 properties confiscated. We recall that we mentioned him a few days ago, stating that he had been wanted by the authorities since November 10th. And I find the whole thing rather silly. And what I mean by that is this business of blocking the eyes of a Nayarit governor whose name is Nay. I mean, all you have to do is Google Nayarit and Nay, and you'll find out exactly who he is, what he looks like, and what his last name is. But that's what local papers do. Do you ever wonder what is the salary of our president? President Andrés Manuel López Obrador makes 163,212 pesos and 25 centavos, or around $8,400 American per month. But you know, there are many government officials out there that make much more money than the president of Mexico. But if all goes well, this will change as President López Obrador is introducing a bill that would cap government officials' salaries so nobody makes more money than the president of Mexico. And what do we say to that? We say, tómala. Now, local authorities have announced improvements in another public park in the city, this time around in Colonia Palmar del Progreso. Now, for a change, I am pleased to see that the photo used for the news item is not one of our mayor, and instead one of the people that are actually responsible, or the person here that is actually responsible for the improvements. And if you're wondering where Colonia El Progreso or Palmar del Progreso is located, I'll gladly show you in a map. Here is the northern part of Puerto Vallarta, as you can see by this map. The main city is here, then here is Pitillal, and Palmar del Progreso is all the way up there. Indeed, this is a good reminder to keep in mind that Puerto Vallarta is a huge city with hundreds of different colonias and different neighborhoods. So it's good to see that another public park deserves some TLC, received some TLC. Unibus PB, the world's most popular city bus company and the one we are blessed with here in Puerto Vallarta, thank you, has announced the arrival of 80 new buses, which will be in circulation by March 2023. The new buses, they claim, check this out, will feature free Wi-Fi. That's what they say. And I say thank you, but please give us air conditioning instead. Today is the day in which hurricane season in both the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean is over. Yay, according to the National Weather Service, there were 14 major events this season, out of which 8 became hurricanes, placing our country slightly over the average of storms that hit us every year. And only 2 of those storms were Category 3 or higher. So I suppose we fared well. We survived, no major incidents, and now it's time to continue to enjoy the fall and winter weather. What can we expect? Well, let's have a quick look. Jesus coupon collecting Christ. It's sunny. That's what snarky weatherman has to say. What I have to say is that it is 24 degrees out there. Humidity is at 54%. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 76. And our weather forecast for today says clear through the day with a high of 28 and a low of 20. Tomorrow, Thursday, clear through the day with a high of 29 and a low of 21. And we end the work week on Friday with a partly cloudy day, a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature of 21. Not bad at all. And now I want to talk about service. You see, I went to a restaurant last night that blew me away with service and food. But let's talk about service first. Let's keep in mind how we've been hearing over and over that the city is struggling to find, or restaurants in the city are struggling to find competent help to provide a level of service and quality that we are used to. So last night I had dinner plans with 2 dear friends, and picture this scenario. You reach the restaurant and you are greeted by a waiter, which later on I found out was a manager, who guides you to a table. You say to this person, well, I'm waiting for a couple of other friends. And this person says to you, well, you can wait at this table so that they can easily see you from the door. And then if you wish to sit somewhere else, please let us know and we'll be happy to seat you elsewhere. Oh, and would you like some water while you wait? And I'm like, lovely. So I sit around, and then the same man comes back to me and says, you know, I see a taxi arriving. Could this be one of your friends? And I turned around and I saw that Logan was getting off the cab. And I said, yeah, that's my friend Logan. So he quickly rushed to the side of the open air restaurant where the taxi was, And he said, "This way, Logan, please. Come this way. Paco is waiting for you." And I was like, "Okay, this is lovely." So Logan arrives, and then another um, waiter arrives, and he's like, "No speak English, no English today, only Spanish." So he spoke enough English, but he was completely funny about it. I mean, he just somehow acknowledged, "My English is not going to be great, but I'm going to take very good care of you." Then this very nice lady came to the table. Oh, our third friend arrived, and this very nice lady came to the table, introduced herself as the owner of this new restaurant. She was radiant. She was absolutely glowing with a big smile, happy to see us. She then asked us, "Are you tourists or are you residents?" And we said, "We are residents." And she said, "Yes, I really want to appeal to locals because I don't get into this whole high season or low season. I want to provide quality food all year around." I'm going to fast forward to the end of the meal and talk about the meal in a little while. But first, I will tell you that at the end of the meal, before we go to the end of the meal, during the meal, waiters kept coming to the table. The owner kept coming back to make sure that everything was okay. Not so much so that it was distracting or disturbing of our quality time together, but enough that we felt being taken care of. Two other friends that were walking by stopped by to have a cocktail with us. The waiters quickly said, "Oh, we can sit you at a larger table. No worries." They took care of it. We tried to help, and they're like, "No, let us take good care of you." And they did. And at the end of the meal, two of my two friends needed to take a cab, and one of them was like, "Maybe I call a taxi, maybe I call an Uber." The manager overheard this and said, "Don't worry about this. I'll order the taxi for you." Because I had said to my friend Christy, I said, "Well, if you want to get a regular yellow cab, we're going to have to walk to the avenue because we're in the middle of Versalles. It's very unlikely that a cab will come here." And the manager said, "No, no worries. We'll order the taxi for you while you look around at all the different areas of the restaurant," which we did. And by the time we came back downstairs, it's a two-level facility. The taxi was there. The manager went out and opened the doors on the taxi for my friends to get into the vehicle. And I'm thinking to myself, this is service. I mean, is this some kind of weird parallel universe in which service is amazing when water was brought to the table without having requested it? And I was totally blown away. And of course, let's talk about the food. The food was exquisite, and I suppose this is a good moment to tell you where we were because the food could have been okay, but we would have been perfectly happy because the service was top notch. Were we at a fancy schmancy top notch service restaurant? Yes. But was this a fancy schmancy gourmet restaurant? No. And it didn't have to be. We were at Mama Chula's, a new Jamaican restaurant that just opened, I think, about a month ago here in Colonia Versalles. It is open for lunch and it is open for dinner. This is what it looks like late at night. And if you go inside, there's a downstairs sitting area that is open air. And of course, now that the cool weather is here, it was very, very comfortable. But looking at it from upstairs, you can see their big ceiling fans so that if it gets warm, I am sure that the place can take care of us like when it comes to feeling comfortable with the weather. The upstairs area is an intimate, cozy room that sits 20, so you could easily have a private dinner upstairs. Now, what do they serve? Well, good for the owner. She has chosen to keep things simple by offering a different menu each day of the week. You can order one thing from the menu that is offered on every day, and everything else is what you get to enjoy specifically on that particular day. There's a lovely selection of cocktails. Not a lot of wine, but I'm sure that that can be changed later on. So we sat down, and even before we ordered our meal, they told us, "Well, would you like to try our?" I think they call them pasties. They look like empanadas to me, and they had a vegetarian and a meat option. We had one empanada each that came with a lovely sauce, a dipping sauce that was a little bit on the spicy side, but perfect. And then, of course, I had the Tuesday option, and all the options. This is the Tuesday options, which was slow cooked pork ribs that were to die for. Everything you order comes with plantains, a small vegetable salad, an order of rice and beans, an order of coleslaw, and an order of cold potato salad. The prices were great. The people were amazing. And who is Mama Chula, you wonder? Well, Mama Chula is this gorgeous, vibrant Jamaican lady, and here she is with her two kitchen sidekicks. And she was just a treasure to talk to. She was extremely appreciative of the fact that we were there. And I tell you, there are so many restaurants now in Puerto Vallarta that are trying to be a cut above others. When I walk into a restaurant and I am offered that kind of service, it's a restaurant that I want to go back to. And of course, looking at the menu, you want to make plans to say, oh, I want to try the Wednesday offering, or I want to try the Friday offering. And so I cannot glow enough about this wonderful new restaurant, Mama Chulas, in Colonia Versalles. Of course, I'm going to leave you with, it's Mami Chulas, my bad. Mami Chula, Jamaican restaurant and bar, and I will leave you with the Facebook page for this wonderful new restaurant so that you can try it to your heart's content. Break a leg, Mama Chula. Mami Chula. Anyhow, that was the restaurant that I wanted to tell you about. Yes, the building is quirky. Yes, it's kind of funky. And you go up the stairs, and it is obviously a private home that has been converted, but that did not take away from the wonderful experience that we had. Moving right along, it's time to walk. And of course, I've been intrigued. You've noticed that lately I've been mentioning how the city is going about fixing all these parks. City parks, public parks around the city. And of course, I'm always curious as to where these parks are, who enjoys the park, what goes on at the park. So I decided I'm going to go check this particular park that is near my house. And this is what it looks like on Google Earth. Excuse me. But of course, looks can be deceiving. The park is this rectangular thing called Parque el Cora. Let me put a highlight over this so that you can see it. It's about 10 minutes walking distance from my house. It's a long rectangular property. And from the photo of it, it kind of looks kind of sad, like there's nothing going on in there. And then upon further inspection, I realized this is a crazy park because it is a long rectangular shape that has three axes, one through the street above, and then another one through two small alleys that are located in one of the sides. So I figured, how can this park be a safe place if you can only access it through limited places? And what happens if you're stuck in there? And so forth and so on. Plus, it looks rather unkept. But knowing that Google Earth is not updated as frequently as we'd like, I figured I'm going to go check out this park. So what I did is I started near my house and did a quick loop to get into the park, check out what those alleys looked like, and came back to the place where I started. Now, here's the thing. The walk itself turned out to be mega long, and I haven't finished editing it. I haven't finished adding photographs to it, but I wanted to show it to you nonetheless. So let's walk together while we start looking at some of your comments. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that my microphone was off. Thank you very much for letting me know. What I was saying is well, actually, before I tell you what I was saying, I want to point out here is Bazar Las Gaviotas, um, which is a very popular place to enjoy. And then we do a quick fast forward. We continue walking along Vienna Street, and I want to fast forward all the way to Juan Escutia Street, which is when I turned left. And I went this way because I wanted to find the alley through which you can get into the park. And I fast forward a little bit again. Not much to report here. Some interesting looking properties. And then I get into this place where I saw a sign that points to the women's organization, the Asociación Femenil Vallartense. And I had seen that on the map. So I figured that's my alley. The alley doesn't welcome vehicles, which I think is rather interesting. So here we go. Oh, this is me turning around and taking photographs of signs that I haven't edited, but the finished walk will have all the signs and all the photos and all the things that I usually like to feature. Lots of flags. Why? Because there's a little condo back here, a cute little building. I wouldn't mind living there, actually. Did I turn around to show it to you? Yes, I did. So there you go. It was not one of those like mega multiple story things that are going on elsewhere in the city. Just a nice, cute building, perfectly appropriate for the neighborhood. And then this building on the left is the building where the Asociación Femenil Vallartense works. Now, I don't know many details about the association, but they do a lot of good work for children with cancer. And then we get to the park itself, which was huge. And one of the nice things about the park is that Google Earth doesn't show us that it is now furnished with soccer and basketball courts. So here is the place where they offer attention to children and teenagers with cancer. This is the Women's Association. I love the fact that there was a lot of art on the walls. But again, there's limited access. I don't know if this park is well lit at night, but during the daytime, this was on Sunday that I did this walk. So I took a lot of photographs of the public art that I will share in the finished walk. There was this guy that was drawing something. I'm always fascinated by all this art, and I'm always happy to see that the city provides this outlet for people that are, capable of doing this. I couldn't draw a stick if I wanted to. There were people from soccer teams that were, doing their thing. Oh my God. And there was this lady that set up an entire munchie shop right outside of her home. I asked to take permission. I asked for permission to take her photograph. Let me turn this up a little bit. She was so funny because I said, "Can I take your photo?" And she said, "What is the purpose?"
Jefa, ¿le puedo tomar una foto? ¿Le puedo tomar una foto?
¿Con qué finalidad?
Para que la gente venga a conocer este bonito parque.
Ah, ok. Yo pensé que para Playboy.
No, pues si quiere para Playboy también. Ok, una.
Hola, buenos días. Aquí atendiendo a mi público. Buenos días.
Linda tarde.
She was so funny because I said, "Can I take a photo?" And she says, "What is the purpose?" And I said, "Well, so that people can come and love this beautiful park." And she says, "Oh, I thought it was for Playboy magazine." And we laughed. And then there's this exercise equipment available for anyone to use. Very different from what Google Earth showed us, that's for sure. The park even has brand spanking new trash collectors sorted by organic and not organic. I certainly hope that they get put to good use and that people understand the difference and that the trash collection service honors that difference. And for people that live in this neighborhood, what a wonderful park to have near your home. And as soon as we exit the park, we will go through Calle Pez Espada, which is one of the residential streets on this side of Gaviotas. We haven't walked down the street together. And we come out of the park, and this street is called Pez Vela. To the right, it heads on to other colonias. And to the left, we head back down Pez Vela towards Calle Pez Espada. Again, we are in the Gaviotas neighborhood. Now, I had not walked through Pez Espada in a long time. I have a dear friend that used to live on the street, but I never really walked the entire street. So I remember some beautiful homes and buildings. It was nice to walk it again from one end to the other. So here we go. And of course, every time we've talked about Colonia Las Gaviotas, we've talked about how much green there is in this neighborhood, how many old trees continue to exist here, and how the neighborhood association has been extremely vigilant to only cap the height of their buildings to a certain level to not allow the construction of huge condo towers or uh, or buildings that are used for commercial purposes. Here's an example of some of the trees that I always love to photograph. And if you were to walk down that particular street, you would end up right at the fire station located right along Francisco Villa. So the whole colonia is very connected. It's very easy to walk. It's all flat, although not all the sidewalks are wheelchair friendly, I'm afraid, but still, it is a nicely kept neighborhood. Let me start answering some of these questions. Are dogs allowed there? Says Alan. Of course they are. Here's an example of one beautiful home. Terry says that about 9 a.m., several people bring their dogs to play. Yay. Oh, here is a house that has seen better days. This made me very sad. Check out this property. It is completely just sitting there. unused, and it's amazing to see how properties die if they're not used. Only God knows what the story is behind that one. And I noticed some houses for sale. There are still a couple of empty lots available. Hi, Michael. I know. I must have walked past your, not your backyard. No, no. You're located on the other side of Paseo del Marlin. What am I talking about? There's Terry and her doggy. But I cut through that section. I'm going to keep it in the longer version of the walk. Here we've just crossed Paseo del Marlin, or del Marlin, heading closer to my own neighborhood, and coming up. See that beautiful giant tree? That beautiful giant tree is in the middle of the street, and I just love how the people that live in this neighborhood have kept all these gorgeous trees regardless of where they are located. It's not for you to know, but no, I'm not gonna. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna go there. I am among friends. I had eaten something the day before, and there was a lot of wind coming out of my body. Enough said. And I was just concerned about the fact that I figured, oh my God, it is so quiet here. I wonder if my wind will be picked up by the microphone. And I don't know. I have windy news for you, by the way, but later. And here's another house that was in disrepair. I mean, I didn't look at it from the best angle, but it was huge, and it was just sitting there with the door open. Doo dee doo dee doo. There's that beautiful tree. And I did turn around and took another photograph of it, I think. John says, turn the volume up so we can hear you rip one. That is so funny. Ah. Windy Wednesday walks. Yes, we got to keep talking about wind because I have been forgetting to share with you. Well, we'll get to that in a second. A walkabout is good for the wind escape. Yes, unless you forget to look behind you if there are people walking right behind you, which has not happened to me recently, but I've been there before. I had a great conversation with an Uber driver about wind escaping in the vehicles the other day. Enough said. Eric says, I just thought that was a light breeze blowing through the water treatment facility. Oh, you guys bring out the worst in me, and I love every minute of it. And here we turn a left, and I can see Vienna Street right over there. There's Vienna. And this pretty much brings us to the end of this Wednesday walk with wind included. And I'm grateful to be in a neighborhood. Oh, check out that sidewalk. Nice. I'm grateful to live in a neighborhood where I'll have green areas nearby because it's definitely something that I appreciate and relaxes me. But even if you don't live around here, next time you go to Costco, take a detour through Colonia Las Gaviotas if you're driving. It really is a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. And the camera stops right here. Oh, my goodness, I'm doing double duty. Let's not do that. Okay, so before we continue, we have had Yes, what the fuck? We have had a lovely bird that has kept us company for quite a few months, and I've decided moving forward, our life cannot be, and this is speaking about wind, our life, a coffee and headlines, cannot be a complete experience without this new addition to the choir. Enough said. The farting iguana. I love the farting iguana. Please let me know when you want to see the farting iguana again. In fact, where did she go? Farting iguana, one more time. Oh, I can be so simple. Okay, your comments. Good morning, everyone, says David. It's great to read you. I can be so simple. Every time I'm depressed, all I need is a little bit of fart humor to get me on a happy side. Paula's happy because she got notifications. Thank you, Paula. Happy Wednesday from Las Glorias. Okay, enough. Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. I love that iguana. Luisa, I love you and I love Lucas, and I know that we're going to see each other in Guadalajara soon. Thank you for continuing to be part of the cluster. You will always be our favorite chachalaca in the cluster, with or without wind. Gina, it is great to read you. I had a craving for a burger on Monday, but you closed, and I'm happy that you're closing one day a week to take good care of yourself. Let's see what else we have. Brian says, usually watch on YouTube, so I feel new. Hello, Brian. My wife and I are in town for a week doing some shopping for our condo. Good for you. We had the fortune of meeting our neighbor Bill from Artisan Bakery. Truly is a small world. I love that about Puerto Vallarta. Wherever you go, you spend enough time here, you start running into people that you know and that you like all over the place. I ran into my ex-boyfriend the other day. I felt a pit in the bottom of my stomach, but that's a different story, isn't it? Let's see what else we have. There's a queue. Hello, Claude. Maybe the Wi-Fi. Oh, this is about the buses. The Wi-Fi will connect to the air conditioning. Just kidding. Well, if we have Wi-Fi control over the freaking air conditioning on the buses, then bring it on. Bring it on. Sherry's arrival is approaching 14 days and counting. I love it. Hello, Jerome. I saw your comment about Grazing in the Grass by Hugh Masekela. That song had been haunting me for years. Specifically, the rhythm played by the piano. Pa 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 pam pam. Da 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 dam dam. And I could not figure out what it was until, thanks to Shazam, it was playing in the background and I could identify the song. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines, and thank you for commenting about that yesterday. And thank you everyone else for helping our new friend Jerome feel at home with your welcomes. Um, Claude, you are going to enjoy the Jamaican restaurant like you have no idea. And meeting the owner, you are going to love meeting Mami Chula, whose real name is actually Denise. Denise, it was a pleasure to hang out with you and connect. It was just great. Um, let's see what else. Brian says, like last evening, that restaurant looked intriguing, and now we will add to our list for our next visit. I highly recommend it. Sheila says, having been wanting to check out Mami Chulas in Calle Hamburgo. Calle Hamburgo has other restaurants that look interesting as well. The whole area is becoming really phenomenal. Let's see. That's wild, Paco. I noticed that in many places, service was abandoned as a precaution when the pandemic started. Then, when the mandates were lifted, good hospitality somehow failed to make a comeback. Glad to hear there are exceptions. You are correct, Meggie, as in Peggy. It is a challenge, and I feel strongly for restaurant friends. I've learned to be very patient when I go to restaurants. I've learned to be empathetic and continue to tip high. But yesterday just blew me away. It was completely unexpected and completely wonderful. Um, Mateo asks, Paco, does your friend Evie sell those shampoos in bar form at the Lázaro Cárdenas Sunday morning? That would be a great question for her. I don't know if they have a presence at the market or not. Because I bought some there last year and I love, 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 love them. Again, feel free to get in touch with Evis, and she will probably answer your question very, very quickly. Let's see. How does Mami Chula compare to oreganos? That is a really good question, Mark. And I will tell you that I have had wonderful dining experiences at Oregano, and last night was another wonderful dining experience. Oregano bills itself as a Caribbean restaurant, whereas Mami Chula bills herself as a Jamaican, specifically Jamaican restaurant. I found there was a relationship. There were common flavors in both restaurants, but beyond that, I don't know that I can answer your question more accurately. Excellent service at both locations. Both locations are run by women, and all I can say is I hope you give yourself the opportunity to check both locations and let me know what you think. No sound, no sound, no sound. My apologies for that. Then lots of comments about the walk. Nice community feeling. Yes, I totally got that when I saw all those young ones enjoying the soccer game and whatnot. Then a comment about the home that wasn't disrepair. Maybe that beautiful house is from someone who died without will and the family is fighting for it, but no one can touch it. Sad. Yes, that must happen quite frequently, Angelica. I hope you're enjoying your home and I hope you're enjoying your time in Mexico. Let's see what else. Wind comments. We're going to skip the wind comments, although Linda is correct. Farting is an art. Totally, totally agree. Oh. Oh. Did you ever live in Chicago, the Windy City? Honey, I live in the Windy City, and it doesn't have to be Chicago. My house is Windy City, and I am so proud of it. um. Okay, I'll stop. Love the farting iguana. Simple things give us the best laughs. Totally. Gina, oh my God. And we talked about you at the restaurant because, this is Okay, I'm going to say something, and I'm going to try to not mess it up because I don't mean any disrespect. Women owning businesses, especially women owning restaurants, has got to be very challenging in Mexico. And I bow to Gina. I bow to Chef Graciela, who owns Oregano. And I bow to Chef Denise, who owns Mami Chula, because you are pioneering, well, not pioneering, you are taking control of your business and giving a great experience. And you came up in conversation, Gina, last night, and I really hope we can go to enjoy Jamaican food together. Let's see what else. Harold says we met the owner at the Jamaican restaurant. She was so nice. Absolutely. Can't wait to try the jerk chicken at Jamaican restaurant, says Jerome. Well, the good thing, Jerome, is that jerk chicken is served 7 days a week. It's not what you don't have to wait for a specific day of the week to enjoy that. And Gina says, girl power, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Mexico plays today at 11 a.m. Let's all watch and support. Well, it's 11:20 and we're still here. Ouch. Patrick asks, do you know of any Brazilian steakhouses in Vallarta? They have come and gone. There was one here near Gaviotas. There was one in Colonia Emiliano Zapata. But as of late, I don't know of any Brazilian steakhouses that are open right now. If anybody has a recommendation, please let us know, because this is always a popular meal. Oh my God, it's 11:21. Look at that. Shane is new from Canada. It is a pleasure to welcome you to Coffee and Headlines. I hope you find something wonderful here. And I think we're done. Yes, we survived without internet interruptions, and with wind and farts and humor and hopefully connections. If you enjoyed today's broadcast, if you enjoyed the content, if the content makes you more connected with friends or with the destination, keep in mind that creating our content takes time and effort and love and dedication, which we are happy to provide. But ultimately, everything that we do here at Coffee and Headlines happens because of your support. So feel free to explore the options at buymeacoffee.com/OjedaPaco, where you will find that you can support this broadcast either through an ongoing membership or through the occasional coffee. You buy coffee, which turns into money, which turns into food for Luna and rent for us. Thank you very much. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, and hopefully you will be as well. Have a great day.